Smart 24, driving business.
Okay, right there. Thank you so much for joining us on Smart 24 TV, Driving Business. My name is Noah Wapera, and this is the economic agenda. I know you missed for that Tuesday that passed, but today we are here, and it's going to be a 1 hour of an intensive conversation with a guest, a very honorable guest that I have on my show. And today is the 18th of July 2024. Time check is about 7 minutes past 8, and we are live with a very interesting conversation. We are going to be looking at public procurement and disposal of Public Assets Authority. That is the agency that we have here, and we are going to have Mr. Benson Turamye, yes. I'm still mastering that name. But Mr. Benson Turamye is the Executive Director of Public Procurement and Disposal of Assets Authority, Uganda. It's a very big authority that stands on zero tolerance for corruption. We're going to be discussing what is about this authority, why is it existing, and we're going to understand its background. Let me take this honor to welcome my guest to introduce himself to you officially and also tell us more about himself. You're welcome, Mr. Benson.
Thank you, Noah. And good evening, viewers of Smart 24 TV. I'm delighted, first of all, to be hosted.
We are honored
on this show, so that we talk about how public procurement is used to deliver service delivery for the national development of this country.
That's interesting.
The budget has been read in July, and when you look at the national budget, the total national budget that was read, totaling to 72
trillion. That's a lot, the biggest we've had in this country.
If you remove the debt payment, which is almost half, about 34 trillion, the rest, if you subject that balance, which is about 37 trillion, to a 60% proportion that goes public procurement, that's quite some.
That's a huge amount of
more
money.
than 20 trillion that will be spent through public procurement by the government agencies. And talking about PPDA, as rightly introduced, my name is Benson Turamye. I am the Executive Director of PPDA. We're providing strategic leadership to that organization.
There's a lot of leadership involved here.
That essentially provides oversight to the procurement function in this country. Because when there were public financial management reforms in the late 90s, then this also touched to the public procurement reforms. Before 2003, the procurement in this country was centralized. Centralized.
That is from which year?
Right from, you are talking about from independence.
It was centralized.
Yeah. Immediately after independence, we had not KPMG. There was a
department.
A department which the colonialists left here.
That oversaw
for government. But and that was, there was no specific act that was for public procurement. but that was under Public Finance Management Act. But around 1977, that department was Crown Agents. You know, Crown Agents is a British oriented or British originated firm, which was procuring for government. But now in 1977, then they introduced the regulations, public procurement regulations, which were coined under Public Finance Management Act. So that one centralized public procurement. If you want an X-ray, you are covered in Faro Hospital, you will come to Kampala, Central Tender Board. And they buy for you, and they finance. The budget for that would be under Ministry of Finance. If it is a Mbale Faro Hospital, all government agencies. I'm
looking at a lot of justified bureaucracy there.
Bureaucracy and the backlog.
Yes.
In terms of not actually completing the procurement processes and deliver these products to the citizens of this country. So there was that Central Tender Board and the Police Tender Board, Army Tender Board, District Tender Boards.
Different.
Yeah. So this was then abolished in 2003 when the statutory instrument that established also PPDA was signed off by His Excellency President of this country.
Yes.
So what does that mean? That procurements were decentralized. If you are a ministry, if you are a government agency,
yes,
a statutory body, a commission,
even parastatals,
a Faro Hospital, a university, public university.
Apparently, all universities are paying money through URA. Yes. That means PPDA is also overseeing procurement systems of institutions.
Yeah, they are regulated by
Mr.
PPDA.
Benson, this is a lot of work on one hand.
Yes,
the leadership you're providing, that is a lot of work. And recently, just before we get into the real conversation here, you know, when you have taken us right back, and there we are to 2004, when you were, handling this work. Yes. But recently also the president came out and pointed fingers at people who are in charge of controlling finances in different departments. Did that bring pressure to your office?
Oversight is very, very important. And there are regulations.
Yes.
There are legal instruments. And me, who is providing oversight, I must ensure that these implementing agencies, which are ministries, departments, and agencies, follow the rules, established rules. If there is a breach, what do you do? So the pressure you are talking about is because of different players that are involved in public procurement. Because if you are an accounting officer, and these accounting officers are appointed annually by the PSST, Permanent Secretary, Secretary Treasurer of Ministry of Finance. Mr. Ramadan Gobi. All accounting officers get letters around this time, this month.
From him?
If you are a chief administrative officer of the district, you are a town clerk, you are a PS,
permanent secretary,
you are executive director of an organization like URA or Uganda Civil Aviation Authority, you get these appointments. And the appointment runs for 1 year. If you don't perform, we sign performance agreements. These accounting officers sign performance agreements. And one of the issues is procurement plan. Execution of the budget, including procurement plans.
Wow.
So, and the law again puts it on the head of the accounting officer. You have an accounting officer of an agency has an overall responsibility over the procurement function.
And who appoints the ED of PPDA?
as an accounting officer, even the ED of PPDA is an accounting officer for that.
So you also
PPDA.
get that letter from
from
Mr.
the
Gumbi.
TSSD, yes.
That is interesting. So
Yes.
now here we are. You have basically one thing is that you are well versed with your job. And that's one thing I'm impressed about.
Yes.
The people that you'll talk to and you realize he's struggling to explain the department that he's controlling. But you have the background and the present. You understand the situation, which makes you the right man for the job. You have already explained the sectors, the reservations scheme targets, I think. But I would like to know what is the eligibility criteria for these schemes. Maybe you can just take it on and explain it
I
all.
needed to bring our viewers on board
Yes.
and get them interested in this matter
Wow.
of reservation. Because reservation is intended to make sure that Ugandans get a share of the 60% of the budget I talked about.
Of the national cake. Yes.
National cake. Because we don't want all these contracts, all these supplies, all these consultant services, even non-consultant services like cleaning, like security. at
That even
homes.
cleaning.
Yeah,
Wow.
even cleaning for like if you're a public office,
So if our institution was a public office,
you need a service provider.
We need
I
service
believe you also have a
providers,
service
yes.
provider.
yeah, we do have a service provider.
So that service provider must be obtained through a procurement process, a competitive procurement process,
Interesting.
so that you avail the opportunity to all who are capable to do that service.
Yes, yes.
So they are, we observe the principles of public procurement, observe fairness, competitiveness, non-discrimination, and value for money.
Okay.
Because we don't want, again, you to pinpoint one person and maybe he can overcharge you.
Yes.
He can overcharge you because if there is no competition, then we must all
We
share.
will have
part
poor
of it.
services
Yeah,
delivered
yeah.
because of lack of competition.
Yeah. So how do we then, as Ugandans, get a share without overcompeted by foreign providers?
Foreign providers, yes.
And that is the purpose of this reservation. And we are saying some contracts of a certain threshold must be reserved to
Ugandan.
our Ugandan contractors.
Are you, just a moment, maybe because I'm among the Ugandans that might ask you this question, does it mean we also have foreign contractors that offer services?
Yes, if many of our contractors, if you see like roads, they are Chinese. You have seen Chinese companies.
Japanese, Arabs.
If you are talking about IT,
Yes.
service providers, there are many foreign companies, Chinese. If you talk about even supplies, if you are talking about medical equipment,
New medical equipment.
if you are talking about even clothing, before we put in reservation,
Yes.
you see these
Back then,
security companies.
the military used to get supplies from outside, but I
they
think the
import it.
president changed that.
It's
Are
a
we now
reservation.
impressed?
It's what I'm talking about. Because clothing and uniforms and clothing materials, the law now has legalized it that if you are a security company like Ministry of Defense, police, prisons, you buy from local manufacturers.
Local manufacturers.
Because of the advantages that we see when you promote our local manufacturers, their capacity will increase, production capacity will increase, they will employ our Ugandan people, youth, and whatever. Currently, actually, they employ a lot of women. Like if you go to Nyanza Textiles,
Yes.
those who are sewing are mainly women. But also the input that go into this production of the clothing here. And it is not only that. The products that are reserved are more than that. We are talking about cables and electricals. We are talking about medical.
Yes, yes.
Medical supplies, medicines, and medical sundries. because now currently national medical stores used to import almost all medicines,
Yeah,
but more than around 46 medicines which are manufactured in the country.
in the country.
Animals must buy them from here. They can only go out.
I visited Quality Chemical Industries and I saw that they were manufacturing a lot of medicines, tablets that were actually possibly used to consume from outside,
Yes.
even malaria.
Yeah.
So I think now that makes me get to understand your explanation here. You were still talking about the categories and sectors that the reservations talk. What more do we need to understand about the reservations?
So if we talk about the categories specifically, one is threshold. In terms of thresholds, we are saying roads. You know, procurement, maybe those who are listening, when we talk about procurement, they may not understand what procurement is.
Yes.
But when you see a road being constructed by KCCA, it has gone through a procurement process.
Yes.
If you see these cleaners that are cleaning the roads
In Kampala.
they have gone through public procurement.
Public procurement.
If you see a government building, like our neighbors here, the Inspectorate of Government Building, it has gone through public procurement. If you
The
see a
hospital
bridge,
being
a
constructed.
hospital, a school, these city schools in government, an irrigation system,
Yes.
a dam, a power dam, a water dam.
Are you
Those are
also
going
in
through
charge of
public
making sure that standard is considered? Quality control?
Yeah, that is still a challenge. In terms
Because I
of-
mean, you have, offered procurement services. People have, taken the money through your department. Now, there are issues of quality of services delivered. Does that still come to you, or it
No,
goes
we
to
provide oversight.
You provide oversight.
But the procuring entity in charge is supposed to use professionals or technical expertise in terms of putting the specifications, for example.
Wow.
If you want to buy this table, you as a procuring entity, you put the specifications because the need is you. If you want PPDA now to do the specification for you, I wouldn't maybe have thought that a moderator of a program like this one needs to sit high.
Isn't it? Yes.
So if you are going to construct a road, UNRA, KCC, Ministry of Works must understand, must do feasibility study and understand that
And assess the need, assess,
the traffic flow, and then say this road must be of this standard.
Wow.
And when they say this standard, it is procured, the contract is procured through a procurement process.
Yes.
My role now is this contractor following the contract,
The contracts.
standards that were initially identified by the user, by the procuring entity. If it is a vehicle of a specific specifications or an X-ray machine,
Yes.
or a medical equipment machine, an industrial machine, an agricultural machine, tractors and whatever.
Yes.
Also at the delivery, you are procuring horsepower 75. That is what you contracted. Then we have competent authorities in that area and the Ministry of Works. The chief mechanical engineer must come and say, these deliveries
You work with so many stakeholders in
Yes.
this.
we have. And what you are raising is a very important question, Noah. Because the question on the table now that we are discussing, can't we have national standards
Yes.
and rates? If I'm
Do
going
we
to-
have them yet?
We don't have yet, but it is
Does
work,
that make your work very hard?
yeah, it is work in progress because now we depend on what the users have come up with for purposes of monitoring compliance by the contractors. But if the user make a mistake, even the implementer, this contractor or supplier will make a mistake because what you have described as a supply or as a works contract, then it will have difference. And we have come across those.
All those
And
issues.
some of those, like design consultants, we have suspended them from never participating. You design a building which is not going to stand.
Apart from standards, you know, I'm looking at a man that is in charge of Ugandan smiles and either sadness. Because the smiles of Ugandans when it comes to a road that has been made, a hospital that has been made, thanks for the procurement system.
Yes.
Our hospital in Butaleja, in Busore, is looking really good at the moment.
Yeah.
And I grew up in that hospital. And recently I passed there and I was amazed at the job, the security lights, the pavers, the houses where we grew up from. I feel like I should become a child and we go back to those houses.
That is the procurement.
But also, I know that number of things that we need to be tackling here. I wanted to find out about eligibility criteria. I don't know if you have explained that very well. I don't know if you still need to highlight, to drop more light about that eligibility and criteria.
If you are to benefit from this reservation, first of all, in terms of thresholds, we are saying Ugandans. Ugandans, pure Ugandans. You must be a national with a national identity card.
Okay.
If your product that you are making is the benefit, now first we talk about the person.
Yes.
You must be Ugandan, but the product to benefit from this reservation must be made in this country. And here, irrespective of who is making it, because we are trying to promote industrialization and also in the drive for import substitution.
Okay.
So if government is consuming, say, many motorcycles, why can't we establish
an entity,
an assembling
plant for motorcycles?
So here we are not saying you must be Mr. Noah. You can be Mr. Ramesh or Patel and establish your, as long as the industry is locally manufactured here.
Yeah, in Uganda.
And those are the ones I'm talking about. Even there is an assembly plant now by Simba Motors, which
I have a colleague who works with them.
So these medicines we are talking about must be manufactured here. The cables must be manufactured here. The clothing must be manufactured here, and the other products. So that is a criteria enough if you have a manufacturing facility. But also we are saying, if you have, if government is doing a turnkey project, a turnkey project is like you contract a contractor to build this.
Yes.
It is the whole, you want a finished product. But where is this contractor? Suppose it is above the threshold.
Yes.
Because the threshold for roads for Uganda is 15 billion.
15 billion.
Shillings. For buildings, 10 billion Uganda shillings. So if it is a building of more than that threshold, and a foreign contractor, or for that matter, even a local contractor, has inputs that go into this construction,
He can get it.
this must be, the inputs must be procured in this country. Because we have reserved, we have given you this reservation. If you are buying cement, you buy it from Uganda Roofing.
Uganda Roofing
Or
Cement.
cement, Toro Cement, or Hima Cement.
Or Hima
It
Cement,
must be
Kampala
here.
Cement.
We don't expect you to now to start importing
Cement from
inputs when actually you have benefited.
Yeah, but
The same thing, the foreign contractor, you have won a contract of 100 billion to build a dam, Karuma Dam. I think you had, you were seeing this story that Karuma even steel was being imported, and no, that can't develop this country. So we are saying, you have this contract.
whose fault was it? The contractor.
No, these rules were not existing
Okay.
that time. Now the rules are there. The inputs, all the inputs, cement, sand, aggregate, meterimbra, you must buy.
And you know that has caused us a lot of loss in this country,
Yes,
because way back, people, foreign countries would sell us like maybe vehicles for services, and then they sell to us the spare parts, and these are the things that come with it.
Yes.
So some of these things I think can come to our country. Yes. We make sure that at least it creates some sustainability in our procurement. I don't know if you still want to highlight more on the criteria and eligibility, but I think one of the things that I would want to know is the amendment of the 2021. Anything you'd like to talk about that? Is it where we have seen all this come from? That's where you're talking that we are saying these are recent developments, because the PPD Act, as we mentioned, was 2003. Wow. It
was amended in 2014.
Okay.
And these issues were overlooked, I think, then. Maybe they were not on global interest. Even when we talk about sustainable public procurement, you have to have a reservation. You have to have special interest groups participate.
That is interesting.
Because I will tell you, if we don't develop capacity now, maybe COVID was also another lesson.
True.
Because you need the masks, you need the protective gears, but you can't have them.
I know we still have a lot of, but let's go into a short commercial break. We'll be returning after that. We have the Executive Director of Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority with us in studio, and we are going to continue to break down about the purpose of the reservation schemes in public procurement of PPDA. Stay tuned. I'll return. My name is Nana.
Smart 24, driving business.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste of Uganda.
My friend, just enter. Everyone now has all access to Pearl Magic Prime. Kasim, give this man some biscuits.
They're over.
But you see these people here, they are on GoTV Plus, like you. But now they can watch big shows like Sanyu, or they can watch Beloved and they cry. So my friend, from now on, it's more magic to Uganda's best shows on GoTV Plus.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Amanya gange nze Nabaloga Barbara, naviridde mu Kiteezi nga mbadde nkola ebyemikono mu weaving ow'emikono nga naye nkozesa ngalo na mpiso neza bulijjo. Wano mazeewo weeks 2 mu training eno, nyongedde okukuguka mu kukola table mats nga nkozesa ebintu ebyaffe ebyawano ebya bulijjo ng'ebyayi ewuzi nga nkozesa kamashini naye obuzibu bwensanze mu kuyiga kwange kuno nti kineetagisa okuba nga nina mashini okusobola okwongera okukola ebintu byange nga bwe mbiyize nga nfunye kamashini so neebaza aba GROW abatuteekekedde omusomo guno ne PSFU okututeekamu ssente ne batulowoozaako ne batuteekamu omusomo guno mbeebaliza ddala era obubaka bwempa basaba banteekemu obwesige ne ssente sobole okwongera omutindo gwange nga bwe nbiyize wano.
GROW, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Blue magic is my joy. Ono blue magic, wange. Ayo, talaba kumabala, atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange. Tayisa bubi fabriki, kyonna kyekiri kigwa lwa blue magic. Blue magic is my choice. Ono blue magic, ye wange. And the blue magic is my choice. Hey, ono blue magic, ye wange. Yeah.
Smart 24, driving business.
Yes, welcome back. Thank you so much for being part of the show. The economic agenda today has happened on Thursday, and we are with the Executive Director of Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, PPDA, that authority that is doing a lot of work in making sure that the budget is effectively implemented. That's a part that, to me, I'm impressed. I've been having a lot of conversations with different people, different technocrats about budget. I should have known that the man who is in the practical part of the budget is Mr. Benson, and I'm glad to have you once again.
Yeah, thank you.
So before we went off, you were explaining the amendment, the PPD Act, but I would like to know a little bit more of how this is expected to enhance local content.
The local content, as I was explaining, it really is intended to ensure that
out of 100%,
Yes.
what percentage are we looking at Ugandans benefiting? But you're already addressing part of that.
Actually, 15% is for another category of special interest groups.
Special
Yeah,
interest groups.
special interests. But essentially, we are saying if we have contracts of a certain threshold, they must go to local providers. For example, if we had the works contracts, all of them below 10 billion, that means 100% will go to our local providers. If all your budget, the specific procurements that you are going to conduct, all of them are below 10 billion.
Yes.
If you are buying computers, you are buying stationery, you are doing renovations, and all these are below, each of these is below 10 billion. It must be to local provider. But if this contract, again, the small individual contracts are below 30 million, Ghana shilling, then they go to our special interest group. Because we want to promote
So
youth,
you said the special interest groups are
the youth, women,
women.
and persons with
Persons with
disabilities. Recently, I got a complaint from the elderly. Say,
That
why did you leave us out? But that's how the law defined those categories. Local providers, high threshold. If they are roads, 15 billion.
I know we have a very limited time, but we still have some more minutes to have this understood. I would like to know, and of course the audience would like to know, and also it would be very good for PPDA to let the Ugandans know, understand more about the PPDA mandate and also your strategies.
No, and the Ugandans should know that actually PPDA is not a procuring agency.
Yes.
It's not procuring for government. That should be very clear. Procurements are done by ministries.
Through the permanent secretaries?
Yeah, and they have even professionals. They have procurement officers.
Officers, yes.
Yeah, they have procurement officers. Another structure that is there is contracts committee and the permanent secretary.
That's at ministry level, then local government?
Local government, there is a cow. There is also a procurement department or unit. There are also contracts committee.
Then there's a town clerk.
Town clerk for town council, municipal councils.
Municipal councils.
No, not town councils.
Town councils, what do they have? I think I've seen a town clerk in a town council.
There are town clerks, but a town council or a sub-county, we take them as user departments. So if they have their requirements, they send them to the district.
Then there's the Gombolola chief.
The Gombolola chief is not recognized by the PPD Act. He's recognized as a user department. Like any department,
he's under the cow, right?
He's under the cow, yeah. So
I
that's
kind of have some reliable knowledge on decentralization,
yes,
especially for Ugandan governance.
Yeah. So if a Gombolola chief is going to build a market,
yes,
or VIP latrines within the market, they have to raise their need to the cow, and then the procurement is handled at that level.
But Mr. Benson, these people should be regulated more, especially the Gombolola chiefs and cows. Some of these toilets are really expensive for the money that they spend.
That is another issue I think you can raise.
I know we're talking about lightly, but it's a serious issue. Especially at the cow level and the chief, they when you look at the toilets they build and then they trust me. I think if there's a man that has a job in this country, my dear brother, you have a job and it's a serious one.
No, you are right, but that is an area that needs further discussion. That's why we talked about standardization. If I'm building a toilet at my home, I may not, compared to what is built for the public. Remember, maybe these people want even to remove after some time.
After
How many
some
is it
time.
going to? How many years is it going to last? Maybe mine will last 10 years.
10 years.
Maybe years. But now we are saying we are comparing. Are the standards the same? If the standards are not the same, the costs are different.
True.
We have seen roads which they say, no, 1 year, 5 years, they are potholes. But what was the standard? What was this job scope of work? If it is stone pitching, another road is asphalt, another road was just rehabilitation. They can't have the same cost and the same duration of time.
True.
So at times we need to understand the scope of work and also even specifications, and then we do a comparison. But the work is mine, the work is for government to come up with standardized
measures to make sure that this is done. We were talking about the strategies as well that you employ in this work.
So when procurement is now decentralized, then the PPDA provides oversight. Are the procurements done well? Are they fair? Are they, what you have just said, do they deliver value for money?
Yes.
Value for money is that we must measure, and it must be measured against standard and the set objectives. Because I will tell you, during our course of work, there are health centers. Oh, let me talk about schools. If you construct a school, but this school has costed you 10 billion Uganda shillings, but the school doesn't have students, it doesn't have adequate teachers, doesn't have books, then value for money, as much as the contractor did the very beautiful structure and put there, it has lost.
There's something I would also want to highlight. Even the roads, Mr. Benson. There are roads that have been made in Uganda, but I'll give an example. My district of Butaleja has taken a long time without the road. I know it has gone through the Tamaka Road.
Yes.
And it's very significant. It's producing over 150 tons of rice every year, farmers and other producers. I passed Namaingo Road, and you could drive 10 kilometers without seeing a car. But our roads in Butaleja, even 5 kilometers, you're finding lots of cars. And I'm wondering, what priority was this about? But anyway, as you say, this will be for another day. I wanted to make sure that this passes on to you.
But that is what the measure we use for value for money.
Yes.
What was the objective of this
road
project? Are the objectives being achieved? Because if the objective is to reduce disease prevalence in a certain area, and you have put a health center 3,
yes,
have the diseases reduced. So and it has to be the whole chain, the whole supply chain. Because if you have a building and you don't have medicine, then you have lost it.
Let's talk about the youth and PPDA.
You know, the youth of this country is the way to go. Even if on political agenda, we are going to stabilize the country, then we must tackle
the issue of
the youth, especially the unemployment. Most of our youth have gone out of school. The jobs are not there. But can they employ themselves? Yes, they can employ themselves. They can get a share of the procurement budget. And how are they going to get this share? First of all, they must get organized. Government will not deal with disorganized street sitting people. You must be organized, you must be registered with URSB. We are in discussion actually with URSB so that the registration fees are even removed. You must be registered with PPDA. For us, it is free registration. so that you get to the National Register. Before I came here, I was at a discussion, a Zoom discussion of the African Procurement Network. And someone from Botswana was submitting that they have these reservations for the youth, and for them it is 30%.
Wow.
But they have only, that is the target. They have only achieved in the last 4 years only 10%. So the question, are they there or they are not there?
Sometimes these young men and women are also difficult to deal with.
Yeah. So we need them to get organized so that if KCCA is saying these procurements are going for the youth, they don't see, but we don't see them.
But also, from a point of engagement, maybe it would be nice to get to engage with some of these young men. They also have their reasons why sometimes they avoid to approach such opportunities. There are certain mindsets and attitude that has been planted in them. So I think that's where I will have to leave it to PPDA, the ED, to make sure that that is also addressed.
No, we are doing a lot by in that direction. We are sensitizing them, we are creating awareness, we are discussion with UDB. Can't you provide a line of credit for them? Because you'll give them a contract of 5 million. They used to say, but how will I execute it? I can't even raise 5 million to supply these products.
That is one of the issues.
So government, together, government agencies, we are coming together to say, how do we help the youth? They are registered, yes, they are organized. We are even saying an association, can be an association, can be a SACCO, can be a community development.
So even SACCOs can bid and can benefit from the procurement?
Yeah, under this arrangement of the youth, women, and people with disabilities.
Let's talk about the challenges, Mr. Benson. I know you have a lot of them, especially right now that Uganda is almost on fire in issues of corruption. And I look at these issues and I look at the president and I wonder how that man rests at night with the issues that are coming to his office. Now you in the implementing gunfire.
Yeah.
Let's share some of the challenges.
It's a tall hassle. Because whether it is true or it is perceived, there is the saying that there is corruption in public procurement. I was in Chankwanza last week
with the president,
and it was high on the agenda.
Procurement.
What do we do? How do we stop corruption in public procurement, among others? And the challenge, first of all, that is also depicting that is non-performing contracts. Even non-performing procurement, delays, for example. You have a procurement which has started now, but has taken a year without getting a contractor.
That's disturbing.
And that is the thorn in my heart. Because now, service delayed is service denied.
True.
What was the purpose of this procurement? You want to deliver a supply, you want to deliver a works, a dam, an irrigation scheme, but it has taken a year. At times, some of these procurements or some of these projects are donor funded. So,
the donor is demanding for the other side.
Even the interest. It's a loan. And the more delays, it is getting, they are charging.
The public is putting pressure on you.
Yes.
The journalists are also, writing whatever they think is right.
But the delay now is what we... And when you see a delay, that is where we need to focus. Why is a delay? Why is there a delayed decision? Why do I give you an evaluation, or the evaluation committee has given a contracts committee an evaluation report to approve so that they award this contract to the best evaluated bidder, and it has taken even 20 days, even 30 days
to
or you are evaluating a procurement has taken 3 months. So these are the areas that we are going in our oversight that we are going to focus. So that delays are red flags and we ask the question. The good thing, and where I'm happy actually, is that in the amendment of 2021, and now the legislations which have been issued now in 2024, delays of a procurement over a decision is an offense.
You know, I want to tell you, but like I said, I want to have more of you on this show to get to understand so many things. In about what Binat, what are your plans for achieving these goals or a goal for PPDA?
We must work as partners in executing and in effective.
Partners include the media as well.
Yeah, the media, the government agencies, the public must be with us.
Because vigilance of the public is very important.
Very important. Because if a contract over here sent is delayed in Bundibujo or in Butaleja for that matter, I may not know. But if the media comes up and say there is shoddy work here,
also comes out,
this contract is not delivering, that's when I can swing in and make sure that together we ensure that there is effective delivery of public service to our citizens of this country.
You know, Mr. Benson, as we close, I don't know if you have the remarks, but I want to say one thing. You talk to people and they will talk to you out of politicking in the mind. You're a very genuine man and you understand your job.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad you have come here to explain to people. I would like to have more, we would like to have more of these conversations. But just in 1 minute, maybe you can make the final remarks and we see how we close this.
I want to close by really calling upon our local providers, our youth, women and special interest groups to get organized so that we develop this country together. The money is there, government has money in terms of the share that goes through public procurement.
Yes.
And we don't want to see all this money taken by foreigners.
Thank you.
The foreigners are developing their countries, we must develop our country. And the policies, the statutory legal instruments are there to ensure that these local providers are supported.
So that's why I will remind you that you do not need to stand on hearsays. Sometimes you need to talk to the host himself to get to understand where the opportunity is, where the challenges are. And we just listened from the Executive Director of Public Procurement and Disposal of Public Assets Authority, PPDA, explaining to us the opportunities that are in PPDA, in procurement, and also the challenges and the target groups that need to be awakened to come on board and make sure that we bring the country to a running roller coaster, make sure that we are up there where we are supposed to be. Uganda is rich, and to me, that is what Mr. Benson has been affirming to us. The monies are there, the government has the money, organize yourself and make sure that you benefit from the national cake. My name is Noah Wapera. This is the Economic Agenda, and you are watching Smart 24 TV Driving Business. Because we still have more programs coming your way throughout the week and throughout the night. Stay tuned. Have a good night.
Smart 24, driving business.
Bulu magic is my joy. Bulu magic wange. Ayo Naraba kumabala atukuza nonyirirawo kirako enyange tayisa bubi fabriki kyonna kyekiri kigwa lwa bulu magic is my choice. Ono bulu magic ye wange and the blue magic is my choice. Hey, oh no blue magic, wange